Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the North American Challenger League. I'm Reed Rapid Melton, and joining me once again is Chris Studio Grant, or rather, I'm joining him once again. We're joining all of you guys anyway out here for the fourth game of the night. It's the next to last game of the second season of NACL Studio.
We're so close. We're so close to being done. This will be the last game for both CompLexity Black and LMQ since iBUYPOWER. So we'll go ahead, hop into the picks and bans as they're raring to go. Already see bans coming out from LMQ. No bans for CompLexity Black except one. They get the last one because they are using a non-rostered sub. Robert Exley currently practicing for his EG matches this weekend, as I believe a few members from EG kind of got stuck with visa issues.
It's true. So Robert Exley will be playing with, I believe it was Gamester Gear's Think Card, as well as Executioner Ken, formerly of SJSU, Sergio's Dream, and or Team Vex, if you remember way back in the day. But either way, it's nice to see a lot of Challenger hopefuls in the LCS, but also nice to see CompLexity's Impactful joining us for tonight's game on CompLexity Black. So they're going to be a black and red. A little bit of a mix to color there, but up against LMQ, they're going to need all the colors they can possibly find because LMQ has just really been on fire lately. For a while there, had a rough space as they were preparing for some of their matches in NACS, but really started to hit their stride.
Ooh, and they get the Kha'Zix first pick. Kha'Zix has just been that all-dominating champion. Of course, CompLexity Black, liking those bans, went for the Nidalee instead. It makes some sense, but that Kha'Zix is just... I mean, he is a champion that is based off fear. He tastes their fear with one of his abilities. He is absolutely terrifying.
I've never quite thought about it that way, but you know what? He's going to be tasting a whole lot more than just their fear, especially with some of the ways that the new evolution path, now you evolve your ult first, and you can sneak along everywhere. You get some damage reduction, and it just makes you a really big threat very early on. So when you take a first pick Kha'Zix, and with only 4 bans, what do you leave open, Studio?
You leave open, I mean, pretty much everything is available right now. The trendy non-Kha'Zix jungler lately has been that Vi, just for that reliable initiation.
Well, Pantheon's also out there, too.
Pantheon's, he's not getting picked for some reason, at least today. Today's been the rare Pantheon. We picked Pantheon. The NACL staff team picked Pantheon, and it did not work out. But we do see Lulu and Elysian coming in response. That Lulu, of course, almost a permaban champion by quite a lot of teams right now. But getting it in second pick is still solid. A little bit less scary than Kha'Zix, but she has so much utility, so much reliability.
And going up against the LeBlanc, like LeBlanc is that big burst champion. You want to just burst somebody down, but Lulu, maybe not the strongest with burst damage, but does have a shield as well as a giant growth that really, really gives you that anti-burst that you really need.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I'm really liking the Lulu pick. I'm not sure why you'd pick LeBlanc into it. Maybe just wanting to practice that matchup, or Zhao's got something up his sleeves that we may not know about just yet. So.
His sleeves are pretty loose. You can pack quite a punch in there. I mean, LeBlanc is someone who will not kill Lulu. That is her big disadvantage. You can get kills early on, but post-level 6, even pre-level 6, if she gets a shield on, Lulu's A-okay.
Right.
Post-level 6, you have to chain silence Lulu before she wild growths. And Lulu's not a squishy champion. She builds, well, she is a squishy champion, but she'll build Athenes. She'll be able to tank that LeBlanc burst combo, pop up wild growth, and just be like, what up? I'm Lulu. I'm now going to punish you with Glitter Lance. It's
literally
rough
exactly
action.
like that. It's one of the hidden emotes.
Yep.
Just
Probably
like, what
actually
up?
says what up in team chat. Like, what up, I'm Lulu.
All right. Well, I'll have to try that one out afterwards. But it's a lock-in on Morgana, as well as the young Josh Mabry is going to be saving us tonight with his Lucians. So bringing out the double guns here against LMQ, and it's the AD carry chosen to pick last from LMQ against iBUYPOWER. And you know, against the Lucian, you can always go for that comfort pick Caitlyn. You can also, maybe if you're getting crazy, pick up like a Jinx or something. Not Caitlyn, but Sivir, also still out there. So.
Lots of viable champions. I would expect the Caitlyn just for the safety, reliability.
Right.
I've been seeing a lot of Vayne, actually some of it out of Vasily, but that is a bad matchup for Vayne because you can try and dodge stuff with Tumble, but if anything, if you ever get hit by Lucian's spell, you're essentially going to get chunked down. You may not be dead, but you'll be forced out of lane for quite some time. Let's see what they do go for. I would expect Caitlyn. Varus being locked in.
Oh, the Varus, though. And I actually got to shout out Varus, because Varus has been seeing a lot more playtime, not just because of his incredibly cool new skin, the Arctic Ops Varus.
Really good.
Oh, my goodness. He even fires 2 chains with his ultimate. But also, just because the ability to just shoot out kind of the AD carry Nidalee Spear really, really helps in some poke compositions. And while that's not necessarily what we find ourselves in now, he does offer some big area of effect CC that you don't really get from any AD carry this side of Ashe. And if you guys saw the last Ashe game in NACL yesterday, you all know why that champion doesn't get picked a whole lot. It's because Banshee's Veils exist, and
Pretty good.
pretty effective, yeah. Let's go with that one. Last pick here saved for the top laner for CompLexity Black. We'll have to see what Westrise wants to bring out here. And with a Shyvana locked in, you know, he actually had a little bit of a struggle early on in the season on Shyvana, but man, has that guy ever picked up the work. And especially against the Renekton.
It was that matchup. It was Renekton to Shyvana. Renekton, level 3, level 4, every single time. He'd get a dive off or he would not deny like 20 CS. But then halfway through the season, it's like he picked up his bridges, said, what's going wrong with this matchup? It's like, let's learn it. And he's been improving. He's won his lane versus Renekton a few times, and he's turned it around. So Westrise is going to be very proficient going up against Ackerman top lane.
Yeah, and if you had to pick up a matchup to learn as a top laner, probably Renekton versus Shyvana is a good one to learn.
That's a solid lane
I feel like
learn,
you might run into that a few times, but we're going to run into that tonight.
Pretty common.
You know, that's true. And also, things that are pretty common, LeBlancs versus Lulus in the mid lane. We're going to see that one a whole lot more, as long as Lulu isn't banned. Hey, it wasn't, because there were a few less bans out there. So we're going to have to see what CompLexity Black has to do here against LMQ. So we have our final rosters locked in, and that's going to do it for the pick and ban phase for our next to last game of Season 2 here at NACL. So we're going to head off to a quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere, because when we come back, we've got LMQ, CompLexity Black, and one more game coming your way. Give a quick shout out to our sponsors before we head out to a commercial break. We want to shout out Loot Crate. You can click the crate of loot right down below your screen, and there for $13.37 a month, you can, well, you actually have to go to the website, and there you can pay $13.37 a month to have a crate of loot shipped straight to your door. It's got tons and tons of awesome stuff inside of it, and if you guys want to check out all of the cool things that you can get from month to month, head over, once again, to lootcrate.com. You can also head over to phoenixcollection.com, where you can check out some of the most impeccably crafted gaming peripherals out there on the market. Mice, keyboards, headsets, and mouse pads, all there for you to for your viewing pleasure. They look great, and if you actually are in the market for one of them, well, you can also buy them there as well. So definitely check out phoenixcollection.com and our friends at Law Class.
Law Class is a fantastic way for you and your friends to go ahead get some great personal time with some of your favorite pros. The way it works is it's an hour-long class. You can ask questions. The pros will answer them right away, and you'll get a good interaction to learn the ins, the outs, the basics, the exploits, ways to play champions like Pantheon being taught by the Odd One, or LeBlanc being taught by Hotshot GG. And it's a great way to go ahead and just improve your game. So go ahead, check out LoL Class. And we've, of course, got to give a good shout to Monster Cat for providing us with some tunes, with some great hits. So give them a check out as well. But with that, we're going to take a quick break. We got LMQ since iBUYPOWER coming up against CompLexity Black after this short break here at the North American Challenger League.
I gave my hand for you to hold. I gave my love that you went and sold. Exchanged our song for another. Can't blame this dead flame that once glowed like no other. How do you soften the thought of carrying
Welcome back to the North American Challenger League. We've got LMQ, stands to iBUYPOWER, in the blue shorts. Repping the red side, though, CompLexity black. Looking nice and strong. No side really going for the invade. We've got the 5-point spread. I'm being joined by the wonderful, as always, Rapid. Rapid, how you doing?
Hey, you know what? It's good to be back, studio. And right as I feel like right as I'm back, everything's ending. We got last day out on the rift for the regular season, so it's a good place to be. And speaking of good places to be, probably not right there for Xiao Wei Xiao. Does get hit there by Broken Shard's somewhat psychic sonic wave. Was able to find him out there in the bush. He will just regen that HP out. But interesting to note, with no trinket wards out there, you know, I've seen more just groups up for 5-man invades, and I feel like they've all been incredibly successful just because you have to wait so long to put trinket coverage out there. But this time around, this is the result that I would have expected, just very defensive starts to the game.
There's really been two swings. You either go for the all-out offense or you go for the all-out defense. There is no dilly-daddling. We sometimes see the 3-man invade, but the jungler comes along, they're all still covering their points. So we can actually see the grouping coming out from CompLexity Black. They're going for the late invade. This is because you can't put a ward down until at least the 2-minute mark. And, of course, support's going for the early defensive starts with Doran's shield or Ruby Crystal like we see right now on Moore. They don't have enough gold for a ward, and there isn't really any ward coverage. Invade comes out. It will be spotted out by LMQ, and Wei Xiao should be A-okay. Yeah,
Wei Xiao, he can't even skill that distortion if he wants to get out of there. Might have already skilled it. Can't check that exactly. But with the invade here, we've actually seen this, like I said, several times just because you can't throw out enough wards early on to predict it. I mean, you are going to be able to go for the counter steal, and so things probably should be pretty even as, yeah, they're just going to take that one down. And Moore's over there by the wolf camp, just making sure that nobody's, you know, coming that direction as they head down to bottom. So mid lane, probably the most even out of all of these, but you can already see that Ackerman is actually starting his jungle path. He's starting it at the wolf camp, and there is No Name, of course, taking down the wolf camp as well.
Well, this is also what's been happening a lot lately. We're seeing a lot more 2v1 situations, which means lots of top laners killing Wraiths. Westrice did the exact same thing. Went for Wraiths right away, just trying to secure some extra experience. This avoids the 1v2 matchup. Both Shyvana and Renekton actually very effective in it, as Renekton can use Call the Meek to try and sustain. Shyvana can just toss out the Flame Breath, try and clear waves. So they're looking for level 3, level 4 just to try and survive and push the wave out. And the early game is more about just getting raw experience rather than gold. This is good old-fashioned Season 3 1v2 win. We saw it Season 2 as well, but not quite as much.
You know, it's bringing back a lot of feels, man. You're not used to seeing too many 2v1s top lane. It's kind of like, I don't know, I don't feel like people really respect the 20 auto attack damage reduction per hit. Just not really having quite as much of an impact. The game more about taking early objectives and making sure to really cut off these solo laners. Now the flash in there from Ackerman, not sure what he was flashing there, but he is going to be around the other side. There's a flash force out there as Morgana, maybe a little bit overextended. Bubba Dub will stay alive. Ackerman will not.
Ackerman trying to go for the juke, trying to see if he can get Lee Sin close to the turret or Morgana to dodge the binding. In comes Kha'Zix, out goes Kha'Zix. That's got to be rough.
Yeah, exactly, and with no jungle presence from that bottom lane, you're just having the 2v1 Westrice. Will have a much easier time of this. An impactful top lane taking down the first turret of the game. That first really have that impact up there. Westrice actually doing a pretty good job holding on to his turret. Needs to be very careful. Vasily going down there. He's actually going to draw that turret aggro and drop it as he gets out of range.
Unfortunately, Westrice standing around a bit too long. This is, of course, something that the top winners all have to relearn, just surviving those 1v2 wins. But CompLexity Black have a massive gold advantage now, 1.6k in their favor. If they can get the bot turret, though, for LMQ, this will even things out quite a bit.
But it's actually kind of impressive to note that LMQ are kind of accomplishing the same thing that CompLexity Black did, but with one less guy to help them out there. They didn't get the jungler to help them take the turret. They didn't get the jungler to help them in the dive, and they were successful in both of those things. So while the scores may be even across the board, it's nice to see LMQ kind of doing it and letting No Name get out there, get in the jungle.
And die.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the rough part for LMQ. They were going for a 2v3 hold, which can happen, but No Name showed up too late. I got hit by the binding.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, wait a second, this is bad. And then
they accomplished the same, but at the same time, they lost a whole lot more. That's
well, it's more like a crime of necessity. It's like LMQ were forced to do that, and actually now No Name forced to jump away from that dragon just by Prolly. cutting down from that middle lane. That's actually going to be the first dragon of the game here incredibly early. It's like 5.5-minute mark. CompLexity Black will take down the first dragon of the game.
Now, this does mean Shyvana's going to come to top lane a little bit late. She's going to be behind in experience. You can see that she's behind it in gold as well. It's going to be a very rough matchup for her. Ackerman really has quite even things out. So Dragon Gold is nice, but it's going to be rough for Westrice going into the lane behind. But every other lane is doing A-okay. Every other lane is doing fine. Lulu in the mid lane doing quite well. Flashes forward. Doesn't land the Glitter Lance, though.
Yeah, able to dodge away from that. And right on time, there's No Name coming in, and we'll pick that up with a Void Spike for the second kill of the game there on LMQ. And Zhao just baiting that out so well. The aggressive flash in there. That's the problem. It's no longer about, hey, can I kill you? It's can I kill you and live? The answer, of course, was no to both of those questions.
And of course, poor Lulu. There is a slight delay on Glitter Lance. It's not the fastest projectile out there, so it is very flashable. Even with picks on you, you can flash to dodge. You have to get that proper angle, though. Finding does not connect. We can see Vasily in the bot lane, just trying to keep himself CS. CS is actually, it looks a little bit in his favor. But a tiny bit. Nothing too big, though. And it'll be evened out by the Dragon Gold, by the rotations across the map. It's going to be weird to see how this transitions from the early objective focus for CompLexity Black taking that dragon to the lanes themselves, doing a little bit better for LMQ.
Yeah, and while it may seem like Lulu has been having a more dominant mid lane, and she's been going in for a lot of harass, it's actually been LeBlanc who's been getting not only the farm advantage, but I almost said the kill advantage too, but the assist advantage, let's put it that way.
The almost kill advantage, the help dodge, the dodging the Glitter Lance advantage. We'll go with that.
All right, and so you're going to see a little bit of extra magic resistance come out there. The bouncing squirrel in the mid lane. It's like the super secret name of Zhao's technique. Went in there, dealt a lot of damage, but was unfortunately unable to pick up a kill or really start that wave pushing back in his favor, because he actually needs to head back to base here not too long.
Top lane, Ackerman gets the stun, gets a good Call the Meek off for the max health return, and just gets on out of dodge. So this is going to be a good transition point for Westrice. He either focuses on farming or hits level 6. And when he hits level 6, he can go for a gank in a different lane. He himself won't be the big gank setup, but with the help of, let's say, Lulu with Glitter Lance and Whimsy, can go for the bit of CC and try and use that burst to take down targets. But because the top turret is gone, this happens a lot. The top laner can't keep pushing. Shyvana, she's fast, she's mobile, but not level 6 means Ackerman can easily run her down.
All right, yeah, and speaking of running things down, I really feel like that's what this CompLexity Black team comp is meant to do. It's like you've got Shyvana, you've got Lulu, you've got a Morgana as well, who should go for, wait, that's a very early Frost Queen's claim. That's a little bit better than I would have thought, or a little bit ahead of schedule. Because a lot of times you'll see Morganas just go for the Spellthief's Edge and then sell it later on for a Talisman of Ascension, because you got to fix some way to stay in range of your ultimate chains. So that's one way to do it, by getting a Frost Queen's claim and just nuking somebody down with that, slowing them, and then slowing them even more with the Chains of Corruption.
They could be just looking for a lot of early aggression in the bot lane. Actually, Vasily and Moore pushed out way far. Broken Shard in the area, going for a kick across the wall, most likely. Resonating Strike with Self to connect. We'll just see a good backup come out from LMQ, able to dodge out versus Broken Shard, who does actually connect the strike but can't fully commit. Top lane, Ackerman pushing out Westrice. Westrice trying to go ahead, keep the turret alive. We'll be able to do so quite well, but gonna miss some CS if there's too many minions dying to those turret shots. Probably takes a little bit of harass from Wei Zhao, and now he might be in death zone. If Wei Zhao gets a good ignite into silence combination, probably might just get bursted down from that and not have a chance to pop the wall growth nor the shield.
Some LeBlancs mid have been going for this Chalice into Athene's build just to sustain in lane versus some very rough lane opponents. However, it's actually the Crystalline Flask coming out this time around for Zhao, and I actually really love that build, because when you look mid, you'll almost always see Crystalline Flask charges running on that LeBlanc, and it really helps him to not only just take all this harass, but make it favorable and make it gold efficient when he heads back to base. I'm a big fan, but you have to keep it running all the time. Sometimes people get like a little bit behind on the charge, just have to spam them all at once, and that's definitely not quite as efficient. Zhao putting it to work.
Yeah, like probably playing Lulu, if he wants to punish Wei Zhao when he goes in, it has to be predictive. Like if Wei Zhao stands far enough back, tries to dodge the help picks and the Glitter Lance combos from far, then he himself won't be pressured all that much. So he's just going for the engage, and he'll take a little bit of auto attack poke, but nothing too serious. We do see Kha'Zix's top lane, and of course at the ultimate, and then the slice, the possible dice comes out from Ackerman, just walking on out of there.
Ben, that's value town right now for LMQ. They walk top lane, and all of a sudden Westrice just, and ult. And then there's like,
all right, okay, cool,
fine.
got it.
All right,
let's leave.
We out. They are, in fact, out.
It's efficient. It's a good way to just make the lane worse for West Race. Like, they're not necessarily looking for a kill. That would have been a pretty... Actually, it would have been a difficult kill situation because you're still dealing with a fast Shyvana. Even with the leap wouldn't really have that much use keeping up with her. So West Race probably could have gotten away, but he would have taken a lot of damage. He would have been punished no matter what, and he could have pushed the turret. Instead, he just ults out early, doesn't take that damage, and can keep the turret a little bit healthier.
And we're actually seeing this from both teams sending their supports to the mid lane to help out their AP carries instead of their ADs. Because for all intents and purposes, there's just a farm war in the bottom lane that both of them are fighting. Right now, it's Varus' turn to push up the wave and get some CS. And then, of course, Lucian will counterpick it when he heads back to bottom. But it's a very different build path as we see the Trinity Force, or Cash Money Trinity Force is right. Good King has informed me I'm supposed to call it. It's impactful heading that way, but actually a little bit further behind, whereas with the BF sword on Vasily, he's definitely going to be that big sniper.
There's a slight, like a little bit extra gold from the Dragon that CompLexity Black earlier, but nothing too massive. So unfortunately, Vasily does take the lead. So if you're Lucian looking for that spell wave, it's going to be hard and rough to go against the Bloodthirster that should be finished soon for Vasily. Dragon gets secured though. Death Sentence onto Morgana.
And just go in and immediately. It doesn't matter if you've got a giant growth, you've got a giant death right there, as Morgana will be the first casualty of that fight. Of course, No Name will fall. The sniper shot just not enough. LMQ almost able to make that a 2-for-1, but they get the Dragon, so still worth for them.
Of course, that piercing arrow going to be maxed out first. One of the highest damage spells in the game, just for its early base damage. It's really early, strong scaling. Hook lands on a Prolly. We're going to walk on out of that, though. That's been a little bit of a dangerous death sentence.
getting a little bit ahead of himself.
Might have been a death sentence for himself, more so than Prolly.
And then he just accidentally pulls himself in. He's
like, all right, let's do this. Let's 1v4 under their
yeah, and then you start to,
Gotta question that one. But luckily he didn't go through. And it was actually possible that they could have punished him for going so far forward, because he was more or less on his own for that. But
always more or less on his own for everything. Yeah. But either way, No Name in the jungle has been having a pretty good game for himself so far. Has now evened up the Dragon count at 1-1. Might need to figure out a better exit strategy there. Dragon, unfortunately, looking like Iraq in that matter. But with the push down mid lane, we've got a rotation coming in from CompLexity Black, as now they are setting their eyes on that bottom lane turret. And maybe just some aggressive ward coverage as to return back down to bottom lane.
Yeah, they're just looking to keep themselves defensive. I think they're looking more for some mid-game damage from Lucian. So they want to wait it out, because Varus right now, he's going to get the early BF sword. Once Lucian finishes the Triforce, he can do the spell weaving burst down very efficiently and effectively. They fight right now, just the auto attack is going to do a whole lot more from Vasily. And Vasily, because he has that really early scaling piercing arrow, will actually do a lot of damage. Hook on a broken shard, though, will pop that black shield.
A little bit late on the black shield, but the black shield also says, hey, look, you want to go in on this one, you're not going to be able to CC him.
I actually like the late black shield for that, because if they go in, then all of a sudden it's like, I'm a black shielded Lee Sin. What are you going to do? What are you going to do more?
Not just a black shield, but a CompLexity black shielded Lee Sin, and it's just not going to be what you want. It will be No Name trying to get himself out of this one. Does successfully juke pretty much everyone there on CompLexity Black. That's why you evolve that ult first. Gives you a lot of extra mobility and the damage reduction and invisibility that you need to escape.
And West Rice using the ultimate just to get closer to LMQ. That let Broken Shard get the safeguard to him. They almost got the chase, but the jukes, I mean, they had a 50-50 shot of catching Cats. You either catch him going up, catch him going down, and he just went down as well. CompLexity Black looked straight on up. We see kind of lighting, kind of resuming. This is a rough situation. There's lots of roaming going on, as the early turrets have opened up the support so much. But because there's so much roaming, everyone's playing incredibly defensively. No one wants to go for the all-out chasing, unless they know they have a massive numbers advantage. Even then, it's a little bit scary. We saw CompLexity Black really disengage quite early, despite landing a binding from Bubba 3-3 though. 1K gold lead in favor of LMQ. Very even game for the most part.
And I'm really excited to see Josh Mabry, a.k.a. Impactful, being so impactful so far. But at the same time, the Varus pick here from Vasily really working out. And I love to see Varus coming back in this. I think it was, Death Sentence coming out here from more. No, he will actually flash it. That was actually really good. Or no, he didn't. Wait, he didn't flash that. I'm not sure why Broken Shard was necessarily kicking him straight backwards.
Whoa.
But way Lantern. Wow, that was a long way out there.
A pretty important Lantern. Does save Vasily, but we can see CompLexity Black go for a little bit more push now as well. Vasily's gone back to base. Bonnie does land onto No Name, takes a decent chunk of damage. This one's quite a bit of damage. One of those nice and offensive supports when it comes to her output, similar to Annie. Ardent Blaze does connect onto Wei Zhao. Take a little bit of damage for that one. Now, Varus right now, if he goes back to base, he can make it this, in time to stop this push. He can toss up the Chains of Corruption. They can go for a huge fight as everything's available right now. Broken Shard, I think it might have been trying to kick in, but just didn't have the proper angle, unfortunately. And just did kind of save poor old Moore.
And for some reason, Westrice, even though he's basically even on items with Ackerman's Renekton, is actually able to still win out these trades. And that's really what you want as a Shyvana. You just want to be able to at least win trades versus the other super tank, because while it may mean that he's losing one more hit point than you are, it means that the battle of attrition definitely goes in your favor. And it's now actually Ackerman who, like I said, has healed up since then, so not the most impactful of battles, but we're about to see one as the pressure intensifies here in the mid lane. CompLexity Black will keep their mid turret alive.
So Ackerman went for the tanky Renekton. He did not go for Ravenous Hydra, as we've been seeing quite commonly. And this means that Shyvana, with her mixed damage, because that Sunfire Cape will only block physical damage, is able to easily win out on trades. Like, the extra HP doesn't do a whole lot because Flame Breath will provide extra damage in that case. Ackerman will lose his trade out in the long run. This is actually why Shen does well versus Renekton, because Renekton can't really build just defensively. Renekton has to slice and dice out. Ackerman really forced out of lane. This build, unfortunately, just does not work for Shyvana.
All right, Binding, though, immediately lands on Moore, and going down, it's actually Bubba Dub grabs the kill there. He will get that extra gold from the Frost Queen's claim, but a nice pick. And, normally you don't want the gold to go onto your support, but after landing bindings like that, I think Bubba Dub deserves it.
And, of course, looking for the far, far future could be the plan for CompLexity Black, waiting for that one day when Morgana can actually... It'll come eventually, but that could be the outlook.
Bubba Dub just sold the Frost Queen's claim to buy a Frost Fang and then the Ruby Sidestone. And I get it that you want the Sidestone, but why do you then rebuy the Frost Fang?
I mean, you could be looking for that DPS. That Sightstone going to be huge too. So a bit of a downgrade, but just looking for that major bit of extra vision coverage. Probably gets a little bit of damage onto No Name. Doesn't go for the Glitter Lance though, or being cleared up by Moore. Dragon is available one more time for either side. The question is who gets the better team fight. Probably does not get hit by the Death Sentence.
Oh man, yeah, nice dodge there. And another binding this time still lands on Moore. I mean, he's been eating those up, but I don't know. Maybe he's...
Thresh ain't that fast, unfortunately. Going for the chase. Glitter Lance does not connect on anybody.
Oh, another binding coming out. This one will be dodged. Ward clearing intensifies out there, and you can really see LMQ, they're not going to give this away. They've got Moore in the man mode position way out in front of the team, but still looking for No Name. He's actually going to be forced to jump into the back there. No smite there from No Name. Will give that dragon over, but Zhao picks up one of his first kills. A nice Hex Drinker will give enough of HP for No Name to survive for just a little bit, but he will finally go down there at the very end. But one death right after another. 1 for 3 so far. No Name is not taking no for an answer, or whether Zhao not taking no for an answer. We'll take out Westrice in the back, and a 1 for 4. Did lose Dragon, though, so not the worst of trades, but LMQ picking up kills.
I mean, just in favor of LMQ, like the overall goal lead is going to be a little bit more in their favor after that Dragon pickup with the experience. More importantly, can they take a turret off this? That bottom turret, not long for Summoner's Rift, will have to go ahead and be rebuilt for the next match, unfortunately. But that was a great engagement from LMQ. They're able to kind of surprise Broken Shard with both the LeBlanc as he picks over the wall. The initiation onto good old-fashioned Ackerman. He goes forward, though.
And Vasily just snipes him down. There's another one off of a huge play, and Moore just coming up big there, finding that Bubba Dub kill. But now they may have to make sure to survive as they are running away, and something tells me Moore may not be exactly where he wants to.
He does get the flash burned by Broken Shard. Flash for flash and more. With so much catch on the CompLexity Black, his flash is actually not as useful as you think it is, just because he's the one that's been eating bindings, and there's so much good follow-up for that. You usually can't use it to survive. No Name in the mid lane. Going to have to walk on out from that minion wave, as there's a whole lot of angry members of CompLexity Black looking for this push.
Yeah, they are actually going to make that push successful in the mid lane as they take out their second turret and tie things up versus LMQ. And with the disengaged, CompLexity Black fire back and are able to substantially even up the gold count. Now down only about 1,500 gold, which at the 20-minute mark really isn't that big of a deal.
It's been like this for quite some time. Essentially, they regained what they lost after that bottom trip went down. Ackerman going to go ahead, chase down towards West Price. Ackerman does now have that Spectre's Cal, so might be able to start winning out some of these trades. That Sunfire Cape, just AoE damage, was doing a lot to him before, but the healing it provides kind of nullified. Probably taken down quite low. Able to survive, though. No burn.
Bottom lane, though, we've got a chain. Wait, did that stun go off on a West Rice? I think it did, but he canceled it during the travel time of Dragon's Descent. So he will finally make it out alive. Top lane, though, we've got Impactful trying to kite backwards versus No Name. He will get the culling off. He's got that barrier to help him out just a little bit, but deep underneath his own turret, he actually gets the outplay and lives. Josh Mabry, is that you? I don't know, but Impactful living up to his name in the top lane.
I mean, he flashed out, trying to only didn't have that flash to go for the chase, so does land the Death Sentence on a Broken Shard.
And
there we
it's
go.
Gonna go through the turret. Zhao off of just one 3L chain. It's all the chains out there. You got Death Sentence as well, connecting in for another kill. LMQ starting to find these picks across the map, and the more and more you look at it, that 404 score for LMQ looking really good on Zhao.
Right, once LeBlanc starts getting ahead, it can be hard to stop, but they do have a Black Shield, which will mitigate a little bit of damage, but not too much, as it is hard to really max it up, and Morgana doesn't really get that much AP. Could be looking for Azonia's Hourglass, has the Amplify on Tome, which would be a great mid-game progression. So, No Name being unable to burst down Lucian is actually a really good sign. Impactful able to kite that out, gets an extra bit of gold, has a BF sword now. He's doing really high damage. However, Vasili's sustained auto attack damage, especially after he gets a kill. Varus does have that passive that enhances his attack speed after killing a champion or getting the assist. It's going to make it really hard, and it's going to make it very important that Varus gets focused down, but they don't have a great dive comp. They have to land a binding onto Varus, they have to land glitter lances, or, of course, the insect play from Broken Shard could always come out. But in the end, Varus is going to be a high priority target, LeBlanc's a high priority target, and they don't have great CC for either of them.
Well, Varus has always been one of those kings of counter-engage, along with like Zyra and Cassiopeia. It's a team comp that you just really don't want to run into because you're going to get hit by those... oh my god. Okay, well then, Zhao is pretty strong. Pull back into the box there. Broken Shard tries the ward jump backwards. Takes nothing but, well, photos and leaves nothing but a ward behind in his absence. A double kill there at the back of that for Vasily. This guy is really sniping things down. Did go for that sniper build with the Last Whisper Bloodthirster, and hey man, it's putting it to work.
It's all about the caster AD carries this past few games, as now Ackerman going one versus West Rice. West Rice able to walk on out, Ackerman able to walk on out, neither going towards their own side.
Yeah, they're just like, all right, I'm going to go this way and farm your minions. I'm going to go this way and farm yours. And with LMQ kind of grouping up around that top lane, it's going to be a rough job to find West Rice. He's like Carmen Sandiego there. I guess he's wearing red too, so we'll actually be able to get out. It's like where in Summoner's Rift is West Rice? I almost said where in Summoner's Rift is Restweiss.
A little bit of those WNR confusion. That happens every now and then. Rest in peace, Pink Ward. Had a good run. Actually lasted a long time in that river, but was cleaned up by more. Now, LMQ, suddenly they're a million billion gold ahead, or about 4,000. And that's off of great picks from LeBlanc. We see Wei Zhao like really coming into his own now, as he almost has that death cap finish. This is incredible LeBlanc burst, especially, you know, we're only about 23 minutes in, but it's still a solid amount of items put down at this point. Ackerman is caught out top lane and able to slice and dice, but gets kicked right back in.
And actually will get the flash, but can't run away from the burnout. West Rice able to find a nice pick there, and good job by Broken Shard getting the perfect kick to take Ackerman down. Coming into 12 and 8 here at the, I guess, big mid-game portion. This is where all right. Well, you're gonna. All right. That was really slick. He was trying for the low pally where you throw the death sentence out and then lantern and then maybe.
I mean, that could have been really cool, but unfortunately hitting the minion, the death sentence.
Hey, it was a really cool gank on a minion, man.
Yeah, that minion got destroyed. Like, he had no chance whatsoever.
He's like, damn, they outplayed me so hard. Got that death sentence and the lantern combo in there. So setting up once again here for the Dragon. LMQ, whoa, they're
they set up for the Dragon. The Dragon went in.
All right, more WTF 2 Dragons. It's like which one? They're trying to outplay No Name here and force him to try to smite West Rice. It's not going to work, and that will be actually probably picking up the kill onto that Dragon. Flash away there. Zhao is not in the right place, and after getting the Dragon, Complexity Black, that's a little
they're
bit
getting
rough.
chased out. I mean, if Binding does connect, not the Kazakhs find a Renekton. The Kazakhs could have tried to turn it around, still would have the stealth available, but in the end would be out of position. Oh, Vasily dodging the kick there.
Yeah, and actually the kick landing on the no-name, kicking him backwards as well. Nice disengage there, but still no kills to be found here for LMQ as Complexity Black with one of the better disengages I've seen this game. Really, really starting to learn how to play against this LMQ team comp.
I mean, Wage out, like, he went for the burst, the assassination on the Lucian, could not land one of the distortions, though, and he was stuck out of position, no escapes, no cooldowns available to keep himself alive, tried to burst on Lucian, but not quite enough in the end. So a kill and a dragon going towards Complexity Black, helping even out that goal. Only about 2k now in favor of LMQ, still very even. It's still scary how strong Wei Zhao is right now. He can go for some crazy bursts, but you know, getting a little bit more gold onto Lucian helps him survive that because of the Bloodthirst can give him so much more life stain for those bursty fights.
All right, like you said, we were heading towards the death cap, picked up the death cap, and now we're almost at a void staff for Zhao Wei Zhao. That is going to be one of the hardest hitting LeBlancs that we've seen, certainly all week long. We've seen a few, but none stronger than Zhao Wei Zhao is about to be. And man, this is going to start to get really scary because what you want to do against the LeBlanc is pick up magic damage or magic resistance on maybe not your front lane tanks, but on like your carries to prevent them from getting bursted out. Well, you don't have to do that because there's a black shield. But I don't think that shield is black enough to be able to block all of this damage from Zhao Wei Zhao's. I thought he was actually going to go for like another needlessly large rod there, but he's actually already got 2, and those 2 are certainly doing work. He's also, against the Lulu, ahead like 45 CS.
I mean, he got those early kills, and especially with that initial flash dodge that got him the first kill in lane. He's able to constantly push him with distortion, and if you can CS as LeBlanc, you can get so much done. Top lane Ackerman going 1v1 versus Westrice has a lot less HP, so going to have to be chased out a little bit to be able to survive this AOK though. It could be see a chase on the mid lane, more looking for probably possibly, but backs on out. Right now it's a fight for objectives, but there is no dragon up. The question is, do you go for the turrets? But turrets are hard as hell to die for either side. Risk counter initiation. Westrice could be caught out though. Some convergence coming out from LMQ.
Westrice doesn't want to use his Dragon's Descent right now. He could win that trade versus Ackerman, but he's not just trading against Ackerman. There's a little bit more coming in there. And if you want to keep an eye down on the bottom lane, you'll notice that's Impactful's been down there for a while. He's just getting his farm on, pushing away, and no death sentence this time onto Westrice. There's the Lantern over the wall you were looking for. Vasily snipes him down for his 5th kill of the game.
Westrice does manage to get all the way through the base. It does unfortunately caught at the last side, but it wasted a lot of time. It let Impactful get that bottom turret, let them get a little bit more gold and Complexity Black. In the end, they win the objective war. They do lose the dragon, but that's okay because that was just a Westrice dragon, not the actual dragon in the pit. LMQ, though, going for the mid lane push in response. Westrice did for a long time. Doesn't have the ultimate available when he respawns as well, so going to be a rough defense. However, Glitterlance, the pool from Morgana, there's lots of good wave clear as well as the piercing light from Lucian. Complexity Black can hold this well, but they have to be in position or they have to not get killed on.
Well, and right now, Ackerman, having stacked up so much extra armor there, does actually have, actually looked like he had a little bit more armor than that. But now, Chains of Corruption are going to land on a Broken Shard. There's a nice black shield to keep him honest. Chains will lock down Bubba Dub, but a successful disengage after taking down the 2nd tier turret for LMQ.
Complexity Black, though, a lot of cooldowns were burned. That Dominus no longer available. Chains are gone. So is the box. It's only LeBlanc's ultimate and Kazakh's ultimate. Let's see what they rotate towards now. Are they rushing towards the Baron? Going to walk right on over a ward. Complex Black will know this as well as it is a pink ward. Very easy to spot that one out. They can try and rush the Baron. However, since they've been spotted, it's risky. They could bait it out, though.
Yeah, this is why they're called Complexity Black. They make complex decisions like that. And I don't know, maybe tiny caster brains like mine can't figure out, but they know LMQ are right there. They're intentionally doing this to pick a fight with LMQ, or maybe force No Name to go in for one of those forced smites. No Name breaks the tether, but we've just got a first kill there onto Westrice, trying to tank up basically everyone. You got the Lantern over the wall, but it's not enough actually onto Vasily. And with a flash out there, Impactful's going to stay alive there. It might actually be Ackerman who's going to go down there, tries for the slice and dice, can't get away. And that's a 2-for-1 exchange. But the bounce in, and Zhao Wei Zhao gets the long-range kill over the wall.
Distance does not connect on a Broken Shard, so 2v2, 2 kills for either side. Not really anyone getting a massive advantage there. That was a great defensive fight from Complexity Black. They were able to kind of split up LMQ as they chased out Ackerman initially, and as everyone else kind of trickled in trying to go for those kills, it left Vasily out in the open. Could not take the Lantern at a time, and Ackerman also going for that last bit of dive. Now, Gold still incredibly even though, 2.2k in favor of LMQ. It's nothing at this point. It's a slight item edge. The question is who has the massive amount of gold. Wei Zhao now has the Void Staff completed. Does a lot of damage. Actually 1v1 versus probably right now, but doesn't have a whole lot of mana.
Yeah,
Probably
Chain's
might be
gonna
able to 1v1.
latch.
Oh, he guessed wrong. He went for the clone. The clone does survive anyways, but probably, unfortunately, could not connect on the right target. That LeBlanc passive, sometimes it makes you play that guessing game. It does have its good reveals, like a blue buff will be on only one of the LeBlancs, but that time, I mean, Wei Zhao, he got the good guess. He got the juke.
Yeah, you can hashtag clone mechanics there because he definitely had that. Maybe you can call it the clone wars up in the top lane. A little bit of an overemphasis there on the insect, but Vasily not where he wants to be. And impactful at this point, very, very strong. Has those big 3 items that you want to see on Lucian's. He's making it work there, taking down Vasily with the help of his friend Broken Shard.
If engaged by Ackerman, just keep the Lantern on out, should be safe.
This talisman used too, so they are getting out of there.
This is going to sound weird, but Vasily dying, as long as it's not for an objective, for example.
Complexity
Dragon.
Hello, please respond. There's a Baron up there, and LMQ were heading up that way, but decided to successfully disengage.
Well, what they're doing is they're trying to waste time and get Complexity Black to stop doing Dragon. So just like, all right, we're doing Baron now. Wait, no. Just wasting your time. Dragon will be going down. If Vasily dies and actually gets a flash blown by Broken Shard, it's actually kind of worth it because that saves himself in the future as long as objectives don't fall. So they got the Dragon, they got the worth of value out of that flash. But if he dies again and they don't take a turret, they don't take something like a Dragon, it's a fine
wow,
exchange. It's just gold
West
Rice. He went for Blade of the Rune King second, so he can duel versus Renekton right now.
No
but
magic resist.
The problem is he cannot duel versus Wei Zhao. Wei Zhao really able to kind of shred West Rice to pieces. There's no tanky target versus West Rice right now. There's a little bit of mitigation on, or not versus West Rice versus Wei Zhao. He finally picked up a Negatron Cloak on Shyvana, so he will be able to survive that for a bit. But there isn't really anyone tanky versus Wei Zhao, and that's unfortunate.
Yeah, Wei Zhao has got so much damage, and really the problem for Complexity Black, and just the burst over the wall, and that's exactly what I was going to talk about. The strength of the carries makes No Name so much stronger, because the carries don't even have to kill their opponents anymore. They just have to get them low. That sets up for some nice resets. No Name now actually going to go back in, finds Westrice, but probably not the target you want to try to assassinate. Now that culling actually getting in there for a ton of extra damage, but the burst, the last little bit of that chain coming in for Wei Zhao will pick himself up his 7th kill of the game. Starting to spread the love, of course, down there to Vasily as well. And LMQ are actually still baiting this. You got 2 kills and killed the jungler, and they're still baiting Baron.
I mean, their jungler was so low they did not want to keep going for that Baron. Now we do see a lot of push from Complexity Black into the mid lane. They have to go ahead, juke out into the bottom part of the jungle, or they're done for. However, they will be able to safely disengage. You see LMQ already turning around.
And that's actually a really good juke there because they're like, you want to push our mid lane?
Here's the thing. LMQ is not baiting a Baron one more time. Not even going for it because they turn right back in towards that brush. Will Broken Shard spot them out before he walks into them?
No, Broken Shard's going to face check. Oh, okay, may not face check this. But he puts a ward over the wall.
Yeah.
So
the ward comes down. We'll survive for a little while. It looks like they actually couldn't see it because the champ was right on top of it. I couldn't see it. Like, I think he displaced the ward. I heard the sound, but
don't move. No, you
what's
move.
he doing?
And then they all have to move out of the brush. And there we go. Broken Shard, though, gets bursted down through the black shield. Wei Zhao manning up. And now, Westrice could be in a little bit of a rough place. Caught in between a Varus and a Crocodile, which is like a rocket in the hard place. I'll let you guys decide which one's which.
Now, there is a mid push coming out from Complexity Black. They're giving up the Baron. No Broken Shard, no Westrice, no chance of really defending it. So they're just going to go for inhibitor pressure. Now, who's coming back from LMQ? It's only Wei Zhao defending right now. Moore is off to the side, going back to base. They might lose their inhibitor turret.
Wei Zhao's killing somebody here. I don't care how you look at this. He is trying to defend, but the turret will fall. That's actually No Name hitting the back button, and Complexity Black turning into Complexity back as they try to disengage here from the base. They actually picked up, I think, 3 turrets off that. So, I mean, it's no Baron, but oh man, impactful. Will be forced to flash out of that one. So that minion pathing really hurting him there.
That's rough. But the gold now actually closing in favor of Complexity Black. They still have a good chase going on bottom. But with that Baron, if they can get a kill,
he's going to jump over the wall.
Oh, Prolly's gone.
And there we go. Even through, once again, the black shield just doesn't matter. We got the flash in there from Zhao Xiao, and actually distortion back right into the chains. The wall also proccing there. Dragon's Rage to kick away. And now CompLexity Black trying to disengage as fast as they can, but still lose Prawley in the process.
Vasily not here for this fight. This is straight up 4v4, but Broken Shard going down.
Yeah, he went in there a little bit over aggressively. Thought he could maybe find a pick there onto the support. Now we got No Name jumping into the fight. Ackerman very, very low. Impactful, not able to take him down there at the very end of that. Binding will land, so No Name's going to be a little bit sadder after that. But Zhao Xiao just goes way up there. Unfortunately unable to take out Bubba Dub.
Vasily now pushing up the top lane, 2 inhibitor turrets being pressured. I mean, LMQ, they knew that if they give the objective, they would have to apply pressure with Bear, but the pressure is just the rundown after the second they come back to defend their base. Vasily now 1v1 versus Westprice. Westprice does have the ultimate available, but taking so much damage.
Now there's a barrier out there too, just no questions about that one. Vasily actually using those procs of the Dark Blight to, or the Tainted Quiver rather, to get himself in there for a nice kill, chucking through a lot of that max HP with that percentage health damage. So really making it look good. Vasily able to take down that top lane inhib. Back out LMQ really starting to run away with this.
I mean, LMQ, they have Weijiao back at base. They're still pressuring us for. There is equal numbers right now for CompLexity Black, and they're too scared to do something. They might have to make a play happen now, because if not, Weijiao makes it back to the fight, and we know what he's doing. We know the damage he can put out. Vasily does take out that mid-turret. Hook lands on Morgana.
Yeah, actually a pretty chunked AD carry there. Vasily will be able to lifesteal off these minions. Ackerman now the one to drop pretty low there. Zhao Xiao just jumping in. No question for No Name. He's going to go back in there, find himself 1 kill, and probably the second inhibitor of the game here going to LMQ.
2 inhibitors down. Morgana down for 35 seconds. He probably can't finish this off. They're just going to rotate. Could start pressuring that bottom inhibitor turret. Might want to wait for the minions, or might want to just face tank it themselves. Ackerman is pretty beefy, but Moore is taking the shots right now. We're just going to Talisman get on out of there.
All right, maybe Talisman a little bit unnecessary, but that was a vulnerable position to be in caught there. But Zhao Xiao goes over the wall again, and No Name's right there to finish the kill. That combo, the burst from either AD or AP carry. Combo in with the Kazakhs, and it's looking good. We got the jump right back in again, and LMQ find 4. And now looking to maybe close out the game.
I mean, Morgana, Lucian up for the defense. No Name is very low. Actually, Weijiao might go down, but does survive. The last
no, he was
up,
right
actually.
back in.
Oh, that's got a bird. But with this 9,000 gold lead, looks like we're going to see LMQ possibly back on out. Unless they can get 1 kill right now. It looks like impactful.
Bubba Dub, yeah.
To defend Bubba Dub, unfortunately.
Yeah, shield not black enough to be able to finish that one off. He's going to need to, I don't know, put on the even more black shield. I don't know, maybe you pick up a Hex Drinker at the same time, get all the spell shields, maybe a Banshee's Veil too in order to survive there. But with the base in shambles and the Nexus turrets down, it will be LMQ 29-13. Will take down CompLexity Black in their last meeting here at NACL Season 2. So
they could always be in the playoffs, but I mean, LMQ, it was a pretty strong early game for CompLexity Black, but that mid-game LeBlanc, that mid-game Vasily, Weijiao and Vasily just doing so well. The rest of the team backing them up, of course, but that LeBlanc burst, man. LeBlanc burst.
That was ridiculous. And that's why you play LeBlanc. Who says LeBlanc doesn't have a bad, or doesn't have a late game? It's looking good, especially if you are so far ahead. And I really like that sort of burst combo. Sometimes you used to see it for Katarina combos, where you'd pick high burst, maybe top laners and AD carries, and then you go for resets in the mid lane. Well, this time you put your resets in the jungle and then allowed your AD and AP carries maybe not to finish off the kills, but to set them up for those Kazakhs resets. LMQ, they finish off NACL Season 2 with a win versus CompLexity Black, and now it's time for our last game of the night.
One more game of the night, one more game of the season. We'll have playoffs next week, of course, but for the standard week-to-week, that's going to be it after this last game.
And the feels intensify as Cloud9 HyperX Tempest take to the Rift against Email Support. And we'll have that game as our last game of Season 2 here at the North American Challenger League when we return right after this.